Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin bears are very vocal, but are they correct? Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, Bitcoin bears abound, very vocal. Are they right or are they wrong? How we will know. Before we get into it, like the video, join us on Twitter with Crypto Love, and subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making daily videos longer than anybody else, and not peddling their products of whatever it is. Now, Fear and Greed Index today at 32. Sideways for the past day, for the past week, down from last month of neutral. The overall market up 1% today, Bitcoin 83,605, Ethereum 1973, and XRP 231. Now, Bitcoin in a downtrend. Right now, 3 out of 4 of the moving averages have turned negative. It should be noted that the last time the 200-day moving average, this orange line, turned negative, went from going up to going down, that was pretty much the bottom. So, should this turn sideways to negative, well, that could be the bottom. Now, the time before that, price did actually half after it turned negative. It went from 30-some thousand to 15,000. But for right now, could be maintained in an uptrend, within a downtrend, within an uptrend. I mean, which way is Bitcoin going? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Well, a lot of people are getting bearish right now. Bitcoin revving up, MACD crossover on the 2-week chart. We can see that right here with all these dashed lines. All these hint at a macro trend flip. The last few times that happened, that was a bearish. Well, I mean, potentially a sideways movement right here, but definitely there and there, those were bearish movements. This even was still part of a larger bear market, right, or bull market right there. The big thing that I think has a lot of people worried was this from Crypto Quant CEO Ki Young Ju. He announced that Bitcoin has entered a bearish market phase, expecting 6 to 12 months of bearish or sideways price movement. Now, not necessarily bearish, because if we take a look, I mean, last time Bitcoin went sideways from March until October. That was like 6 months of sideways movement. So far, we've really, from the top, that was January, we've only had 2 months of sideways price movement. So another 6 months of that would be kind of on par with the previous top that we've had. So there's that, but there's also this, Tony the Bear, whatever, Severino, saying Bitcoin 3-week log RSI downtrend and bearish divergences. Imagine this isn't Bitcoin. Does this look positive, a bearish divergence? Well, it all depends how you look at it, because if you look at it on another time frame, this is the 3-week right here, this right here, a hidden bullish divergence. You can see price increasing, the oscillator decreasing, potentially could make a lot of money on this trade buying at the right price, but nobody seems to know. I do think this is pretty spot on. Bitcoin is in a bear market, and you can clearly see the bear market right here with higher highs and higher lows, but it's a bear market because price isn't going straight up. So if we take a look on the macro, long-term holders actively accumulating Bitcoin, adding over 167,000 Bitcoin in the past month, so they're buying the dip. We also have, despite the correction in the crypto market, Bitcoin still surpasses other assets in terms of profitability after the election. So still doing pretty well compared with everything else. The only thing that even comes close is volatility, which I didn't know we were selling volatility, but I guess, hey, they'll sell anything nowadays. And if we take a look, every time that Bitcoin has touched this fear area, if you look at the chart, every time the market hits extreme fear, we've seen a strong bounce in Bitcoin. Even in bear markets, when it hits extreme fear, these have all been bounces. The last time the index dipped to extreme fear was September 2024, when Bitcoin was trading at $54,000, price pumped 102% from there. And the line that Bitcoin is at right now has a pretty high probability to bounce. It's bounced off this line previously. Also, we can see oversold on the RSI down here. So all these things suggesting, hey, maybe we're due for a bounce. Now, Bitcoin would have to hold these RSI levels for us to consider a continuation, lose this level, and Tony the Bear Severino says that bear market becomes more likely. Could just be an ongoing correction. Don't get fooled. Break this within a couple of weeks, and then new all-time highs within a couple of months. Statistically, it's going to happen by July, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It could just be a longer cycle like we saw in 2017. Looks very, very similar on this fractal. You have an inverse head and shoulders. You have a nice first impulse move and then trading below the moving average or this trend line for a long time before it breaks above for a historic run. That did more than a 20x when it broke above there. Now, we have the inverse head and shoulders. We have the first impulse move. We've been trading below this line for a long time, but when we move above there, could it be a huge impulse move to $1 million of Bitcoin or more? Well, we'll kind of have to see. I can't predict the future. Maybe you can do better than me. So that's all for this episode. If you enjoyed it, there's a playlist with your name right up there. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.